Check it out. This is the Liquidlogic Torque 62. Now, this is the 62, which stands for 62 gallons of volume. Are they doing a small or a large? I don't know. I can tell you guys, I've already set in this, and this right here feels more like a kind of a big medium to me anyway. You know, I've set in a lot of different boats, and I know my sizes very well when it comes to kayaks, that's for sure. What I'm going to do for y'all today is I'm going to do like a quick little walkthrough, not go through much on this because Liquidlogic already put out a pretty good walkthrough. You guys can go check that out if you want. And I am here. I will be doing a little bit of paddling today, and I'll have an on-water review coming. But today what I'm going to do is kind of like a first impressions type thing and not really an on-water review. So stay tuned to that. Let's go ahead. Let's start breaking it down. I'm going to start back here at the stern and just kind of walk my way forward to the bow and kind of give you my impressions of what I think of this boat. So going over the specs here. So this is available in 3 colors, a blue, a green, and a kind of a gold color, which is a yellowish gold color. And the length on this, so going off of what their website says, the length is 8 foot. The actual width of the boat is 26.5, and the volume is 62. Cockpit sizing is exactly the same on all the normal Liquidlogic boats. It has the badass outfitting in it. You know what? And it also has the updated Gorilla Grip thigh braces. So if you guys haven't tried out these Gorilla Grip thigh braces, it is a huge improvement to any Liquidlogic boat. I did a video on that. I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this one if you want to go check that video out. But I recommend these Gorilla Grip thigh braces. Really changes the way the Liquidlogic boats paddle. And as far as like rocker height on this thing, I measured this rocker height, and it looks like the tail on this comes at a little over 9.5, maybe right at about 9.5 to the parting line there. And the bow came out a little over 12 inches right to the parting line there, and it's got a very thin parting line, very thin bow right here. It's a lot wider than the Hot Whip, from my opinion. I think that this area right here is wider, and this area right here is wider, which I think is a little over 10 inches from this from edge to edge here. And I think that's a little wider than the Hot Whip, which is actually a good thing because I love a wider tail. Let me give you kind of a quick overall shape. So starting back here at the tail, you can see it's very thin. They dropped some volume out of it compared to the Hot Whip. It's thin, and then it's a lot of volume right here behind you, so that's going to have some stability in its tail when you're on vertical there. Not really high right here, comes down, and then it starts scooping down right here. So they brought the volume out further right here, and it's very planing throughout the entire boat, which I like a lot. And I will get to the hull here in a minute. The handles are basically your normal grab handles. Liquidlogic does a really good job on these aluminum grab handles with security bolts in every one of them. Wall holder here, ratcheted back band, nothing new there. Wall holder there, and the drain plug. This is kind of a silly spot for a drain plug in my opinion, but you know what? They want to hang in there with a drain plug. I get it. You've got about a foot, maybe 2 foot left before any drainage, but it's pretty thin back there. And if you really wanted to, it's still a drain plug in its spot. Me personally, I would take that drain plug out and just make that handle a little cleaner coming out. But that's my opinion. Feel free to make it yours. The graphic, I love what Liquidlogic's been doing lately on their graphic. They have been knocking it out of the park. I love the power slide, the sweet ride, the Hot Whip, and now look at the torque. It looks like they've got a series of Liquidlogic boats on top, on like a little kind of drag strip type car, number 62, which is the 62 gallons torque, and kind of a cool font right there. Good job on that. I always like, seeing a good graphic. By the way, this is a vinyl, so they actually add this post molding. This is not a in molded in graphic similar to that, so you can peel that off. So don't be picking at it, everybody. It's very easily adjustable. You adjust these 2 screws right here to adjust the seat. Just loosen them, don't take them out all the way. Loosen them per side, and you can move it forward and back. And then there's 2 screws here for adjusting the thigh braces. They can go forward and back. I like mine all the way forward. I'm probably maybe 2 inches of adjustment forward and back. So good job on that. I like a good adjustable thigh braces. And this is available with a bulkhead. Check out. It's a flat plate right there with the bars, and the one bolt right here. In boats like this, I love a good bulkhead because of the fact that when you're vertical or you're really kind of torquing, I threw it in there. When you're torquing a spin or a blunt or something like that, it gives you a platform to kind of plant your foot on, especially when you're vertical. If you've got foam, a lot of times I will fall forward when I'm vertical, and I lose a little bit of my momentum in my cartwheeling or when I'm in my vertical kind of bow stall or something. So good job on that. I love a good bulkhead. So thank you, Liquidlogic, for putting a bulkhead for me. They did it just for me. How about that? All right, so enough about the deck and the specs and all that. Let me roll it over and let's show you the business. So let's go down the sidewall here. Look how thin that is. That is probably less than an inch. And then it widens up to about maybe 1.5 feet in. It looks like it gets about 2 inches, and then it widens up and goes all the way down. You can see right here, they have that deck styling that's similar to the Hot Whip. It goes down right there, and look how thin that bow is. Very thin from here all the way up to here. Now let's look at this edge. What they've done with this edge, they've lifted this edge, how about they lowered the edge down from what the Hot Whip. And what I'm looking at is the transition from this edge to this edge. So right there, between these two, you can see the difference. That is a very small drop. I mean, that drop is less than 1/4 inch. So that's gonna tell me that this is gonna be very flat and planing on a wave, and its edge runs all the way down and around and goes all the way back up. Very flat and planing here. This is not rounded. This is very flat and planing, and it's really wide right here. Really wide platform right here for river running, maybe even throwing some big fatty blunts or something like that. But this is a rockered boat, so it's going to be very interesting how it cartwheels. When you rocker it this high, sometimes you lose your ability to initiate the bow cleanly. But I have a pretty good bow initiation, so maybe I can do it. See how it kind of transitions, and the rocker seems to kick about right there, and it's like a progressive rocker. There's no abrupt kick in this, by the way. You can see right there, and once again, more like a progressive rocker that just runs out right there. Good looking bow. I like how that goes. I like that transition right there. That looks good too. Give you a quick side shape on it. There you go. You can see, because obviously, technically, everybody, the bow, almost think of a Hot Whip, but they lowered this down and thinned this out, and then widened this a little bit and flattened this out and lowered this rocker down. So if you like the Hot Whip, I think you'll really like this boat. So let me try to explain where I think this boat falls as far as Liquidlogic's lineup or in your lineup. I think what they've done, they're trying to bridge that gap between their Home Slice and their Hot Whip. Both of those are really good boats. I was not the biggest fan of the Home Slice, but I absolutely love the Hot Whip. That thing is awesome. So if you haven't tried that, you should try that boat. And if you have a Hot Whip and you're interested in something maybe a little more sportier on a wave for spinning and playful, I think this might be the way to go. And you're going to have that same kind of feel of a Liquidlogic boat, so you don't have to kind of relearn things. Some people do struggle jumping between different models. I totally get that. I think this would be a great addition to your lineup for something that maybe is that very playful on a wave. And like if you find a nice pour over ledge or a big hole, this thing would be able to cartwheel your brains out. Look how easy it just spins just sitting here like that. And yeah, I will go over all of this in my on-water review and kind of give you more of a feel of the boat in the water and kind of tell you more. That opinion might change the more I paddle it. I'm going to put it to its paces through several different styles of runs, river running, playboating, and pretty much everything. I'm going to let other people try it out too and get some additional opinions. I always like hearing what other people's thoughts. If any of you guys have paddled this boat and you've already got one or you've been in one so far, let me know in the comments below what you think about it, or if you not paddled it and what's your opinion of the boat just looking at it right here. What do you think it is? What do you think it's gonna, how do you think it'll fit in your lineup, or if it's something that you might be wanting to get? I will leave links below where you can pick up, this boat or any of the other gear that I use if you guys are interested in that. So yeah, there it is, everybody. That's all I got today on the Liquidlogic Torque 62. How do I do a 6 with one hand? See you on the next video. It's a combination of, like, if you mix the Home Slice and Hot Whip. Okay. It's almost like if you took the Home Slice and the Hot Whip had a love child in the back of a power slide. Oh crap, don't go down that way. You'd get the torque.